John, joining us now is Emad Kiyaei, the Executive Director of the American-Iranian Council. Emad, good to have you back. As you predicted, we have a deal today, but critics are already blasting it. They're saying that it does not dismantle Iran's nuclear program, as U.S. officials promised before the negotiations got underway, that it leaves Iran as a threshold nuclear state. Of course, none of that matters if Iran doesn't want a nuclear bomb. Are you optimistic that's the case?
Yes, I mean, if there was a smoking gun that Iran wants a nuclear weapon, we would have had it in the past 12 years in all of these, these negotiations have been going on. The fact that after so many years there hasn't been a viable indication that Iran is seeking nuclear weapons indicates that Iran is actually trying to make sure that it can build trust with the world international community and to ensure that its program remains peaceful. And this deal ensures that happens, not just for the Iranian nuclear file, but also gives verifiable, implementable measures that the international community can make sure Iran remains a nuclear power, but not a nuclear weapon.
But the critics would argue that Iran doesn't deserve that trust because it violated the Non-Proliferation Treaty for many years before these negotiations started.
What you're talking about is what is known as the possible military dimension issues. There's been a sticking issue for what Iran may have violated before any of these negotiations started. It predates 2003. But that has actually been hammered out within this comprehensive nuclear file.
President Obama said this deal is not based on trust, though. He said it's based on verification. But as we just heard Jimmy McIntyre said, the deal seems to fall short of those anytime, anywhere inspections that the West wanted.
Well, we have to understand the complexities of these negotiations and what is available to the international community in terms of treaties and oversight of Iran's nuclear program. Now, Iran's current nuclear facilities are under 24/7 monitoring by the UN watchdog, the IAEA. And President Obama has already indicated that this is going to be based on verification. And I assure you, from these measures that are going to be implemented under this comprehensive deal, there is no way Iran can divert fissile material towards a weaponized covert operation without detection.
What about Iran's neighbors beyond Israel, which of course has been very vocal in its opposition to this deal? The Saudis have also been vocal. No official comment today, but we've seen reports that they believe this is a historic miscalculation. Could this still lead to some sort of nuclear race in the Middle East?
The Saudis have indicated previously, a few months ago, that if this deal happens, that they want the same deal that the Iranians got. And ironically, the Iranians responded by saying, well, the measures that we have taken, it goes beyond the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, and we're more than happy for a regional mechanism where everybody adheres to these limitations.
The arms embargo against Iran will be lifted in a matter of years. Are you concerned that with all this new money going into Iran, once the sanctions are lifted, and access to weapons, that Iran could be even more destabilizing in the Middle East?
Well, Antonio, the reality on the ground is that Saudi Arabia spends 5 times more than Iran on its defense budget. The Iranians do spend about 2% of the GDP on defense. But the reality is, even if with the more money coming into the coffers, there's so much socioeconomic issue that they have to tackle.
A quick final question.
Yes.
Do you think this will be an opening for Iran to the West beyond this nuclear agreement? Foreign Minister Zarif said it was a new chapter, and the head of foreign policy for the EU also sounded very optimistic that would be the case.
I'm always optimistic, and I believe that this removes a major bottleneck, and I hope it will lead to more stability and security in the Middle East.
I hope you are right. Emad Kiyaei, good to have you with us again. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
John?